Who's there?
And Irish.
Oh, hello.
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 Hello, who's this?
Oh, it's Elizabeth.
Hello, Elizabeth.
I have recurring thoughts from when I was very young. We used to call them, I think, conundrums. And one of them was that we all know that the grass is green. But if I look at it, how can I be sure that I am seeing the same colour?
Yes.
And calling it green? Is that an old one of yours?
Yeah, no, that's run through my mind.
Sorry?
Yeah, that one has run through my mind.
Yes, and I look back now, I'm pretty old, and I'm not saying that for you may comment on that, but, and I spend a lot of my time with my mind still working, and I think back to some of the old conundrums, and I thought that you probably have quite a few. When we were 11 or 12, we thought were unanswerable.
Well, I think this one's unanswerable. Can you prove to me that you exist? Because I'm just worried that this is all a dream, and Alison, you're in my dream, and Elizabeth, you're in my dream at the moment, and I'm dreaming that I'm me.
I have this one.
Do you? Have you ever heard that one, Elizabeth?
No.
Ah, well, welcome to this one.
Yeah.
They're the sort of things that I want to think about, because I've had a fairly decent full life. I'm pretty old, and
But you don't know that you're not dreaming it all. You might not be. You might be a sheep dreaming that you're Elizabeth.
See, I often have this one. The other one I have is similar, but
This is great. I love this conversation. I love this show. This is fantastic. Go on.
The other one that I have is that my life is actually a top-rated show, perhaps on a Japanese TV network. No, I do.
Yes, Takeshi's Castle.
Yes, I do sometimes think that. But like the Truman Show, you know, maybe there's someone pulling the strings, and this is just for someone else's entertainment.
Supposing God has actually decided that there is only going to be one person, and he's only watching you, and that everybody else doesn't exist, they're not real human beings.
why do we dream then?
Well, how do you know that this isn't a dream?
We might be dreaming now.
How do you know this isn't a dream?
No, because I can pinch myself.
But you might be
able to
dreaming.
pinch yourself in your dreams.
Yeah.
Can I?
You might be able to.
But I can pull my hair.
Yeah.
You might be able to do that in your dreams.
The fact is, Elizabeth, you don't know that this isn't a dream you're having. Do you?
Oh dear. Oh dear. No. I just love thinking. I love listening to thinking, people who think, and whether
Can you control your thinking?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
What I do...
bet you can't. I bet you can't.
I don't think anybody can.
No, we can't. Our brain is completely, and I use the term in the literal sense as it is defined in the dictionary, our thinking is literally spastic.
I don't think we can control the way we think. I think we can try to.
Because if one has unhappy thoughts, or... I mean, if you have a fairly disciplined mind, surely you can switch from unhappy thoughts or strain.
I don't think you can, though. I think you're fooling yourself if you think you can. I think people try to. I know what you're saying. So if you're feeling sad and you have that kind of mindset where you think, right, pull yourself together, Ferns, you're not going to be sad today, you're going to be happy. Deep down, you are still sad. You're just playing at being happy.
No.
Yeah, but you expect a variety of... It can't all be smooth sailing.
Exactly, but the thing is, if you, in your mind, if you are thinking sad thoughts, you can't eradicate them all. No matter how much you try, you can't eradicate them. They will still be there. You can try and act happy and push the sad thoughts to the back of your head. You can try and sort of really try and push them back and forget about them, but they're still there. You can't control your mind in that way. You can't control the way you think in that way.
But do you not think that if one is unhappy inside... that person has a difficulty in being happy.
Yeah.
You think not cruel people and people who do dreadful things are just unhappy inside?
Don't know about that.
Yes?
I don't know about that.
Well, I shall listen to you some more. I'm really quite past it, you know, to carry on but I do love to think.
Good. Thank you for your call.
Thank you.
Yep. you can control the mind. I think that it's virtually impossible if you've got a good, agile mind to really control it. I've met people who are pretty good at it, and I know a lot of top sports people now employ people. There's a good one in Brighton area, actually, a guy called Pete Cohen, who will help you think the way you want to think, but not control the thought process. Merely help you think positively about important things. But the thought process, the way in which one thought leads to another, which often fascinates me. And I think we've talked about this before, but you know, you can find yourself, you walk into a room and you can't remember why. You have to go back through the various thought processes. So you say, okay, so I was in the kitchen. What was I doing?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I was getting the scissors out, and I remembered that the needle that I'd sewn my trousers up with the night before is still... yeah, I came for the needle. But you've got to go back through, you've got to retrace those mental steps.
In the same way, if you're having a conversation with someone and then one of you breaks off to go to the toilet or whatever, and you come back and say, now what were we saying?
Yeah.
And you can't remember, and you have to go back and you say, well, we were talking about this, and then we started talking about that, and then you eventually get to the point at which you left the conversation.
But is that who we are, our thoughts? Is that who you are, your private thoughts? That's you, isn't it, actually?
Yeah.
And we can't control it.
No.
Not really. No. So we're all over the shop, aren't we? And I think sometimes in human affairs that becomes very apparent, that we are all over the shop. 08459570057. But we're quite likeable on the whole with it.
I think so. Hello, who's on line one?
Yeah, hello there. It's Mark.
Hello, Mark.
How you doing?
Good, thanks, and you?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I was just listening to you and about you can't change your thoughts. And I agree, you can't. You know, I sometimes wake up and I'm not feeling too clever, and the course of the day kind of goes that way. But I have found if you go to the gym and I kind of work out for a good hour, then I come out of that gym and I'm actually kind of, it changes my whole mood.
Well, that's because when you exercise, endorphins are released into your bloodstream, aren't they?
Well, that's
and
right.
I believe in that. I think, I think there's a lot to be
I'm very
said for
sceptical about these
exercise.
endorphins. I've never seen a photograph. I wouldn't know one if I saw it in a tank.
Yeah, but you can feel it.
Well, it's a
not
feel-good
just
thing.
No.
Well, they look like sperm.
I picture them as sperm, yes.
That's because you picture them dolphinated, don't you, through your bloodstream.
Or little bubbles.
Now, how do they work? How do they make you feel good?
Well,
Here come the endorphins. Fantastic.
it's a bit like having 5 or 6 pints of lager.
Now
You're talking our language.
There is one of life's
Now they're endorphins, aren't they?
sadly and tragically for many, that is one of life's great solutions to the problem of reality.
That's right.
Because, I mean, what is it? We're back to this one now. What's the point? Here we are, bags of skin, flobbling around planet Earth for such a brief blink of time. And in 100 years' time, none of it, anything that we've ever done, and all the love and mistakes will just be gone. So why are we doing what we're going to do tomorrow? Because that's kind of in the contract, and there won't be any arguments if we do what we're going to do tomorrow.
Well, it all depends on the person, doesn't it?
No, everybody lives their lives like that.
Do you think so?
Yeah, if we stopped and thought about it, then we simply wouldn't get up in the morning. We'd lie under the sheet going, ah! It's true, isn't it? Isn't it?
No.
Well, you would if you just acted for yourself, but you don't, do you? The reason why a lot of people will get up tomorrow morning is because of the role they play in someone else's life.
Yeah. Which again is probably fictional and irrelevant if you actually boil it right the way down to what's it all about.
No, but I don't think it is irrelevant, because that's the reason why we'll all get out of bed. If we didn't actually do anything for anyone else and just for ourselves, we would just all live in a world where everyone just stayed in bed under their sheets going, ah!
But why are we doing the thing we're doing for other people? It doesn't add up again. Not really. It wouldn't stand up in court, because we still know that there is the greatest likelihood that it's all nonsense.
Well, no, I mean, you have to look after your kids if you want the world to keep on turning, if you want a future generation to exist. And they need you to look after them, so you have to get up tomorrow morning and be there for them.
That's the deal I'm in as a result of having children. I agree with you. But nothing of any difference for the good is going to happen because I become a halfway decent father.
I think you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm starting to see what you're trying to get over, Tommy.
Well, there is a sort of nothingness about it all, isn't there? I mean, I know this is nihilism gone mad, but I am something of a... I understand the whole notion of this thing, the jejune. It's possible that there's just no point. It's possible that we are a tiny speck of dust in an unimaginably large and uninhabited universe, whose beginning and his ending is beyond us, but is much vaster than the tiny little of time that we've got here. That's just, and we all know, quietly in the back of our minds, which are frantically racing out of control, we all know in the back of our minds that this is a very likely possibility.
Yeah.
And yet we'll go on acting logically and sanely the following day, which is testament to something, and quite magnificent in some ways, but I sometimes feel like giving myself time off and responding to the voices that say, why? Why not just lie there? Or do what you really want to do tomorrow? But I don't know what that is. If life is meaningless, then I don't know what I want to do tomorrow. So the possibility that there is some order about it all will drive me to do the things that I will do tomorrow, which are the same things that everybody will do, which is be a normal human being. But inside, I'm still going, why? Which is what we all do, especially when we're alone. But we don't like to think about it for too long, do we?
No, not a good idea.
Not a good idea, is it, mate? No. Anyway, how much time are you spending down the gym at the minute, then?
Well, I'm not.
Oh, right.
But I used to a couple of years ago, but it bored me senseless.
Down the gym?
Yeah.
Gyms are boring, aren't they?
No, they're fantastic.
They're not. They're dull.
Oh, God.
No, they are dull. No, they are.
Yeah.
You people, Alison Phones, you can sit and watch endless soaps and cheesy television light entertainment vehicles. You're telling me that being down the gym and pumping it and working on it and the music and the bodies and the sauna and everything is boring?
I find it dull.
Oh, bless.
The sauna I like.
Eh?
I like the sauna bit.
Why is that?
I just quite like that bit.
Why?
And I like the jacuzzi bit.
Why is
It's
that?
okay if
What,
you've
the
got
bit where you
the
just sit
people
there? That bit of
But
being in
just
the
sort
gym
of
you like, sitting
pounding away on the treadmill is not very exciting, is it?
Oh, well, I think it's all right.
Well, unless you've got a nice looking figure in front of you to look at while you're doing it.
That is part of it, isn't it? The gym.
Well,
I went to the first gym I ever went to was in Brighton, and it was a male-only gym, and it was dreadful because it was full of grunters.
Oh.
You know the guys I mean? The guys who got 280 pounds on the bench press, and they're giving it this,
Oh.
you know?
Yeah.
And I walked past one of the grunters one day, and it was quite funny because he was a huge bloke. He was very menacing looking. And as I went past him, I sort of almost knocked into him, and men don't touch in gyms, God. But I sort of brushed him, so I went, sorry. And he turned and looked at me and he went, that's all right. In this tiny little, tiny voice, which took the curse off it a little bit for me, but no, I prefer mixed gyms, of course. And I have been in a mixed sauna once in a gym by accident, and that was quite interesting too. For obvious reasons. I didn't know it was mixed.
What, naked sauna?
Yes. Yes.
What sort of places do you frequent?
No, this was only once, in Luton. I've got the address.
In Luton?
In Luton. In Luton. The men and the women went into separate changing rooms to change, but then there was only one communal sauna.
I've never been naked in a sauna.
Oh, no, you don't wear a towel.
I do.
Oh, why?
Oh, a swimming costume.
Why?
I don't go naked in a sauna.
Why?
No. I've never been in a sauna where other people were naked.
The point of being in a sauna is to get that dry, hot air to your skin. Do you wear a hat?
No.
Why not? Because there's parts of your body you don't want anybody to see.
No, I've never been in a sauna where other people were naked, where it was the dumb thing to be naked.
Michael, we're all buck naked in the sauna, aren't we, men?
Oh, no, not for me.
Do you wear shorts?
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Sorry, I don't know where you've been going to, right? But I'm telling you now, your normal gym on the high street, you do not go naked in the sauna, do you?
No, of course you do.
No, you don't.
It's like swimming with a shirt on. It's ridiculous.
I like the idea of going naked in the sauna, but I wouldn't have the nerve.
I can't believe this.
No. I mean, I'm built like a pencil. You know.
Why would you feel like a pencil?
Feels like a pencil, he says.
I think that you'd feel like a pencil. How bizarre.
No, I'm built like
You're
a pencil.
built like a pencil.
Yeah, I
In
mean...
what way? I'm scared to
Well, I'm skinny.
Yes.
Skinny, right.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a body to show off, I wouldn't mind sitting next to other people.
I see what you're
Naked.
saying. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you go in a sauna, how clothed are you?
Well, just a pair of trunks.
Right. So
Yeah.
people can, and therefore people don't realise that you're built like a pencil because you've got boxers on. That doesn't work, does it?
Well,
come on,
I'm talking the whole body.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But you're saying that it's your build that you're embarrassed about.
Yeah,
And yet you
yeah.
only cover up your midriff area.
Well, yeah, I see your point, but I mean,
What
you can't.
are you? I mean, let's be honest. What you're actually worried about is somebody else seeing your bits.
Well,
That's what you're telling us.
well, yeah.
That's the
yeah.
facts of the matter.
I mean,
it's your private parts.
You meet some unsavoury characters in saunas.
No,
you know?
you don't. No, you're making that up. You've never met an unsavoury character in a sauna.
Well, it's funny you say that. I did once, There was a couple of old boys that I was sharing a sauna with. And, where did the conversation go? But it went on to, I forget how it went now, but, one of these old boys was kind of getting a little bit personal with me.
Oh.
And, well, yeah, I can't remember how it went now, but,
You sure, or are you just perhaps a little bit raw on that one, a little bit oversensitive, maybe?
well, yeah, maybe, I don't know, but, no, I don't know at the
But you
time.
felt uncomfortable.
I did, yeah, I was just about to say that. And I think sometimes you might get kind of, you get to see the kind of life in certain saunas, maybe. Maybe I'm going down the wrong road here, but,
No.
what do you think?
Well, thank you for your call. That's the first thing. I do appreciate that and bringing up the business. I think is it called body imaging, this? You know about this. You're a journalist, Alison. Is it body imaging? Our self-image.
Oh, a self-image, yeah.
And how most of us think that we are a lot more funny-looking than we actually are. And that we think that everybody's going to look at us and think that we're funny-looking. And that is... I don't think that's something I've ever suffered from myself. I probably should have done, because I'm just as funny-looking as everybody else, but I've never suffered from that.
Well, you're very lucky. Do you go swimming naked?
I have done. It's fantastic, but I don't know why.
What, in a communal pool? With other people?
It was in a communal pool. There was only one other person.
Oh, well, that doesn't count.
What are you implying?
Just
What
saying.
are you implying? No, I don't go swimming in a public pool,
No.
because there's men, women and children there.
No, but you do, the kind of gyms you go to where you can go naked in the sauna, I wasn't sure whether you could also go naked in the pool.
Look, when you're changing, to go into a gymnasium, you have to take everything off, right? You're in a bloke's changing room in a gym. You take off your shirt, you take off your shoes, your socks, your trousers, right? You take off your Y-fronts, because you're going to put a jockstrap on if you're going to work out. So you're buck naked for 30 seconds whilst that is happening in the gym. Now, nobody kind of puts a towel round themselves in the male changing room in a gym so that nobody can see their bits.
Well, this is all new for me.
We just get
I
on
wasn't
and
aware
change
of
into
that.
it. And then what Michael was saying is that having allowed anybody who wanted to see us and nobody's looking, but naked, then we wrap a towel round ourselves, Alison, or put a swimming costume on, Alison, and go and have a sauna. I don't get that. Are women then frightened of other women seeing their so-called intimate parts?
Completely. Oh, not about intimate parts, no.
But you're not wearing a swimming costume. No, this doesn't work. You don't know yourself. You are covering up your intimate parts.
I don't think it's about intimate parts.
It has to be.
I think you would need to have a lot of body confidence, a lot of confidence in your own body image to want to wander around naked in front of other women, yeah.
So women are going to make judgment about whether you've got an hourglass figure and whether your boobs are the right
It's
shape.
not even about other people making judgments, it's just about you feeling comfortable. Hello, who's on line 1?
Hello.
Change the
Hello.
Hi. I've been lying here sitting listening to you, and I've got 2 comments. One, hang on, I just turned off the radio.
It was you. I thought it was you. Thank you.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry, talking about a video outside the sauna.
Yeah.
I've been to gyms, and I agree with Alison. The actual perception is that you ought to be wearing clothes and things like that, but in reality nobody really cares at all. You've just got the odd one or two posers that want to sort of look at each other and wear the right things.
But most people are clothed, aren't they, in the saunas when you go to the gym, aren't they?
Yeah, you actually get something written up saying, please make sure you are wearing the right clothes, because I actually was in one once, and there was this guy that actually had nothing on. And you kept thinking, well, what's he up? You know, why is he sitting there with nothing on? And you just look the other way.
That's probably Tommy.
No, it's because he's in a sauna.
Yeah.
The whole point of a sauna is that...
They don't allow it. This is what I'm trying to say to you.
But there are usually things, signs up saying, please don't do it. And
well, there's signs up.
And I mean, there have been in ones where they do have naked people and that, and so fine, that's fine.
But what is there? If you're right that there are these signs, and I've never seen them.
Yeah.
If you're right that there are these signs, what's the reason?
Because it offends other people, and other people are offended by it, and I don't actually care one thing or other. But the main reason I phoned up was about, you know, you were talking about our place on the planet and where we are and whatever. I did an Open University course years and years and years ago, and it was really stuck in my mind. And it took you as a human being, and it took you out into space. So it was you and where you were in space, and it took you out and into the planets, and it showed you where Earth was and where the planets were and the galaxies and whatever. And then it brought you right back again, and then it went down into you and looked at you, at your body's cells, and then you being a virus and etc. and viruses and that. And it made me think, yeah, that actually puts us into perspective. We are a virus on a planet.
Right.
And the whole and the
so when you have then this new perspective, which I'm not quite sure I grasp, but I think I know what you're driving at.
Yeah.
Do you then act in any way differently the following day from how you would have acted anyway without this perspective?
It makes you realise that you are insignificant.
Yeah, but do you then do anything differently? Knowing now that you're insignificant, do you do anything differently? Thinking that you are totally and utterly insignificant and irrelevant?
I do what I need to do within my... No, I just... To be honest...
You don't, do you?
You just carry on, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
Carry on, do the best you can.
And that's my point. And so you look at all these people, you know, sometimes I walk down the highway and I happen to sort of look at the faces of the people walking past, and they all seem to be going about their business with a certain amount of confidence that it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
When I say business, you know, I mean whatever it is they're doing, shopping or walking the dog or whatever, and you look at their faces and they do really appear to be carrying themselves with this kind of, I'm doing this because it is the thing that I want to do and it's the right thing to do. But I think what we all know is that they're having the same duels in their mind with all these conflicting notions of what it is to be a human being and what the damn point is.
Exactly, yeah. Tonight I was out with some friends and we were having a discussion, and I can't remember the actual what it was all about, but one of the things was we as human beings, this guy said, we as human beings are really, really important. And so my husband said, well, what's the difference between us and an ant colony? Ant colonies are really... No, he was saying, what's the point of ants existing? And we were saying, well, ants are most probably thinking in their world that they are really, really important and living really, really important lives.
I don't know. It would be very nice to get... It would be nice to get into the mind of an ant.
Yeah, but it's not that. It's the fact that wherever you're living and whatever you're coming from, you are the most important thing in the world, because that's where you are.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
She was a very quietly spoken lady. I think she probably had the headset in... She said she was in bed, so she probably had the headset right up close to her. Maybe she didn't want to wake somebody up or anything. But I got the point of what... Well, I think I got what was nearly the point that she was trying to make. I think. But the reason we're different from ants, of course, is because we and one of the reasons I think it's harder to be a human being than any form of animal is because we actually get to think about it.
Exactly.
And I don't believe animals do. Some people say, oh, well, you know, you don't know. That's,
no, I don't buy all of that stuff that we're, you know, animals are just as important. They're not.
No, well...
well, I don't think they are.
Okay, fine.
I don't think they are. I don't think they have... I don't think an animal has to struggle with their conscience.
No, that's my point. Or they're not... I don't think they're even aware that they exist.
No. So how can they possibly be on the same...
At an intellectual level.
Level as us.
They know that they're hungry and they know they want to go to sleep and then, you know, blah-de-blah. And they know when it's time for a walk, all right.
Yeah, but I don't think they struggle with...
No. But they don't know about the process of life and inevitable decay and, you know, loss and suffering. Although... just occasionally, early in the morning. Have you ever seen a pheasant sort of tending over the body of a partner who's been in a car accident?
No.
I've seen it more than once, and it's moving. Pheasants often get hit by cars. They're stupid creatures. They almost seem to run into the car. I'll flag it down. And it doesn't work.
I don't think it's a cab.
I don't know. And then the partner, because pheasants are very monogamous.
Oh, they're like swans. Once they have a partner for life and that's it.
You get to know them as pairs. It's man and wife. It's quite touching. Quite touching.
I didn't know that about pheasants.
But then you will see, and then you will see a male pheasant hopping around a ditch by a curb, and as you get closer, the male pheasant will just recede a little bit because you're coming past with your dog, and there you see the reason why. It's because the male pheasant knows that is his deceased partner, and that is touching. And there's something going on there. I don't know whether it amounts to grief or anything, because you just will never know, will you, with animals? No. But
hello, who's there?
Oh, hello. Don't you think everything in life is more of a habit? Aren't we brought up from that being everything goes in a habit? Like we're fed morning, lunchtime, evening, and that goes on until you get older. You go to school, you come home, you go to work, you do the same things. And if you have a night out anyway, you feel terrible the next day because you've either had a late night or it's put you out of your running of life. Don't you think this happens?
I do, yeah. Where do these habits come from? They're just given to us down the centuries, aren't they? Because our habits are more or less the same, I suspect.
Yes, we are all the same.
As the habits of that people have had for thousands of years.
Yeah. It's funny because we touched on this a few weeks ago. Tom and myself went to the South of England show, and there were thousands of people there.
Yeah.
And we said, now why are they here?
Yeah, go on.
And basically, the thing we came up with was that they're here because it's what they do. And it's what they've always done. And they go every year. Yeah. And if you actually ask them...
Every year someone has something planned that has to happen on a certain day, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's just what they've always done, so they'll do it again this year.
So I often think this, and well, I'm retired and getting on now, but when I used to go to work, and we just used to do the same thing every day. Go to work, come home, talk about what you're eating or anything like that. So life is just a habit, isn't it?
It's funny though, you said if you break the habit of a normal week and you go out, you do something out of the ordinary, then you feel awful. See, I'm the other way. If I don't break up my week, then I feel awful. But then I have no discipline in my life. And I go out of my way to not have discipline, you know.
But then that is your routine, which is what the ladies saying. I'm the same as you. If I'm in at 8:30 in the evening, any evening, I get stir crazy. I know there's a party going on and I want to be there. It's so you're saying, what's your name, madam?
Joan.
Joan. Fine. So your take then, and I admire it because it's an original point of view and I like it. Your take is that reality for most of us, perhaps all of us, is really just habit and a repetition of all the things that we've done because we don't want to break that habit for whatever reason. It's why people still do the lottery and still do the same numbers. Because they're worried that the following week they won't, and that's the time it will come up. So,
like, I've never understood people who'll say, oh yeah, well, on a Tuesday night I go to the pub.
Yeah.
And they'll always only go on a Tuesday. Why?
Wednesday, it's sausages.
Yeah. Friday with your fish and chips.
Yes, you're true. It's like a meal. We always have that on a certain day.
Yes.
Isn't that a dull way to live, actually, when you think about it?
Dreadful. I think it is a waste of a human existence.
Yes, and my daughter sent me a poem once.
Oh.
And it said, in every heart there is a lingering thought of childhood. And I thought that was rather nice. Don't you think that's a rather nice one?
Yeah, I do.
Because we all think back to our childhood, don't we?
Also, don't you think it's important for everybody to be childish from time to time?
Yeah,
I never understand when people use that as an insult towards an adult, and they say something like, "Oh, they've got to grow up. They're so childish." Good.
I know.
I think we should all do with being a bit childish sometimes.
Childlike.
Forget who you are and do something different, isn't it?
Exactly. Or just do something because you just fancy doing it.
But, you see, here we are talking these fine words now, but we are going to continue with this show, to do this show in the way that we habitually do it.
Well, let's not then. Let's do something different.
I think you are different to when you first started.
Oh, do you? In what way?
You're nicer to talk to.
No, I don't buy this.
Yes, you are.
No, I don't buy this. Shall I tell you what the truth is? The truth is that your perception has changed of us because you've found out more about us and become more intimate with who we are.
And I have noticed, though, it's you can approach.
And also because fewer people are ringing up and being vile.
Oh yes, that's true.
And I mean, well, I'm not gonna take any rubbish from people who just want to say things like "get off," "you're not the usual bloke." I mean, their only objection to me during the first few weeks that I was doing this show, their only objection was that I wasn't the usual bloke. That was their sole objection, and they couched it in such guttural terms that the only thing I could do was to oppose what they were saying. They had no argument, and yet they were being cruel, and they weren't bright enough to see that. And you have to stand up.
I don't think you should have retaliated in the way you did, because you used to get so angry and shout.
Of course I did, woman! Because they were being vicious.
No.
What do you mean? What on earth are you talking about? Joan, I liked you for a minute, and now you're saying that people should be allowed to come up to me and be completely and utterly cruel with no reason whatsoever to do it, and you're telling me that I am supposed to go. What do you think I should say then? What did you want me to say when somebody was being...
plug out.
Just say, and say what?
No, just ignore them. When I say to my grandson, who is a rather...
So does that mean that you... so what you're actually... What you say is you tolerate people being unpleasant. You don't think they should be told...
No, I don't. I just walk away.
That's tolerance.
I walk away. I say to my grandson, walk away, don't argue with people. And
but you have to, you have to, well, of course he doesn't. He's right. You're wrong. You have to stand up to bullies. And a lot of people who called this programme way back were bullies. But have you noticed that we've won?
Yes.
And why have we won? Because we stood up to them.
You're not putting up with it.
That's it. So can you see my point of view?
I can, actually.
So who was right?
But my grandson...
So who was right?
Well, you were right in a way, but I'm trying to tell you that my grandson will argue with people.
I'm not interested in your grandson.
No, this is how you
It's not relevant. I'm not talking... No, I don't want to talk about your grandson.
No.
Because it's not relevant.
No.
What we're talking about, you, right? Well, you then got in an underhand criticism of me as a person.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I have to laugh sometimes.
Yeah, I guess
You're
you do.
quite funny.
You know, in some ways, though, I would agree with Joan. I don't think you said that you need to stand up to people all the time. I think there is an argument for walking away. I think there is an argument that some battles just aren't worth fighting.
No, I don't agree.
You agree that every battle's worth fighting? I don't agree.
Absolutely.
There are some battles that are not worth fighting.
No.
And you should pick and choose the ones that really matter.
I think that's girly-whirly cowardice.
No.
I really do. I really do. No, I will oppose anybody on behalf of myself, on behalf of any victim. I will oppose anybody who is unwantonly cruel. And particularly those cruel people who think that what they're doing is right.
when it's wrong.
Can't see that they're being unpleasant. Can't see that they're being irrational. Can't see that they're causing pain in anybody or hurt in anybody.
Yeah, but hang on, I'm not saying if someone's, you know, cruel that you should let them away with it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there are other battles, aren't there, where people aren't being cruel, but that, you know, they're not, I don't know, that they're making, they're stating an opinion that they're not really backing up or whatever. I just don't think you should confront everything. I don't think that you need to have a battle over everything.
No,
I think people, you know, I think people will cross you and people will do things that annoy you.
Absolutely, of course. Of course there are occasions when it's inconvenient, you can't be bothered, whatever. But no, you have to stand up for everything that you have carefully thought through. And most of all, you have to stand up to lazy, unpleasant bullies.
Yeah.
And they are not just the fat boy in the playground.
No.
That you get an awful lot of people who think that because they are, for example, because they're elderly, they can say what they like.
Oh, no, not always because they're elderly.
I didn't say that, did I? What I said was, you do get some people who believe that because they are elderly, they can say what they like. And they're the ones who usually start by saying, I'm 82.
Oh, well, that's a number, isn't it?
No, I think you need to realise that what's happened is, over a period of time of listening to this show, and this always happens wherever I work, you come round to realising that I talk a lot of common sense and that I've got a good heart, because those things are true.
Are they?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, Tommy. Nice to talk.
Night, Joan.
Why did she feel the need to have a pop at the end of what was a very interesting, pleasant conversation?
I don't think she saw it as having a pop.
No, I know, but people don't, do they?
No.
It wasn't relevant to what we were talking about. It wasn't consecutive.
No.
I believe that.
But people don't want to admit that they got it wrong either.
Ah, well, that's it.
There's so many people who've said to me, I didn't used to like you and Tommy when you first came along.
I know.
But you're all right now. You've changed. No, we haven't changed. They've changed.
Exactly.
But no one wants to admit that they have changed, that they got it wrong at first.
Yeah, that's right. 08459570057. It's the late night Saturday night phone-in on BBC Southern Counties Radio with Alison Ferns and Tommy Boyd. Last week we were embroiled in some pretty hot-tempered stuff about Live 8. So before the show started this evening, we thought, well, we won't talk about the obvious.
No.
Because what's happened this week has been discussed so much and reported so much. There's nothing left sensible that we can say that hasn't already been said.
No.
And it's a Saturday night, so we'll talk about X, Y and Z. And we sort of have, haven't we? The Internet Hour was all over the place, which is brilliant. And what have we talked about so far this evening? We talked about in-laws.
Yeah.
Because your in-laws...
Meeting my parents tomorrow.
Yes. So that's the first time they've met.
Yeah.
So the question is what you're going to talk about and how's it going to work. And we talked about a couple of strategies there. But you're still nervous about it, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
And we talked about... we ended up talking about what's the point, which... I don't know what the course of conversation was that led us round to that one.
About dreaming.
Dreaming.
And how do we know that we're not all just dreaming?
We just drifted
all of
into
this
that one,
at the
yes.
moment, yeah.
It is actually a well-known catechism by one of the great Chinese thinkers, which was, last night I dreamt that I was a butterfly, he said. But now that I am awake, I do not know whether I was a man who had been dreaming that he was a butterfly, or a butterfly who is currently dreaming he's a man. It was, it's not my favourite one, but it's kind of in there with what we were talking about.
We also were talking about whether you can control the way you think.
Yeah.
Hello, who's on line 1?
Good evening, Alison and Tommy.
Hello.
It's David in Brighton.
Hi, David.
Hello. There's one word which both of you have used tonight, which you haven't qualified.
Oh, yeah.
What is normal? A normal person, please.
What was the context of the use of the word? I seem to remember it cropping up at one point.
Yes, it was when you were talking about not wearing towels when you go to showers and whatnot.
Ah, yes, and Alison said it was normal to wear clothes. Yes. Well, I think she probably meant commonplace.
Commonplace, yes. In the majority of establishments,
yes,
you have to wear clothes.
We're not talking about normal in a kind of a mental or a physical sense.
No. Just saying it's the norm.
Yes.
In the majority of the places.
Statistical.
You're getting that, aren't you? You're saying it's a norm. What's a norm short for?
Well,
it's what the majority of people do, like she said.
Yeah, the majority of establishments that have saunas make you wear clothes.
Yes.
No, they don't make you wear clothes, but they insist that if you want to use that establishment,
that you wear clothes.
Yes,
yeah.
But they're not making you wear clothes.
Well, they're insisting that if you want to use their establishment, then you have to wear clothes. Yes, therefore they are making you wear clothes.
So if you
go in there naked, they won't let you use the facilities.
So Anthony, if you walked in there naked, would you take clothes in there to wear?
Pardon? If I walked in there naked?
Yes.
Yes, well they'd either tell me to leave, wouldn't they, or put some clothes on.
I'm there with this one. I have that thought now. Thank you, David. That's
so come on,
a very sustaining
So I've walked into the sauna and they've said you can only use the facilities if you put some clothes on. Then yes, I'd put some clothes on. Or I'd have to leave.
So what would you be hiding?
What would I be? No. I'd be towing the line. It's their facility, and if they say that I can only use their facility if I'm dressed, then I would put my clothes on.
So being that we're all the same animal week, what have they got to insist that we wear clothes?
Well, it's their place.
It's up to them, isn't it?
They can make their own rules.
If I invited you over to mine,
yes,
David,
yes,
then I would have the right to tell you whether you could be naked or not.
Yes, you wouldn't. You probably would ask him not to be naked.
Yes, and I think I'd be within my rights.
And you wouldn't question that, would you, David?
No.
So then, in the same way, the gym can tell me what I have to wear as well.
My own view is this: if there is any truth in what Alison is saying, that there are gymnasiums where they make you wear clothes, then it is because the people who run the place recognise that the majority of their customers would feel more comfortable with that. So
if Alison wanted to be there naked, but it's just that I wore clothes.
Yes.
What would be the result?
What was that, sorry? Am I naked again, David?
You keep raising the image of Alison Ferns naked, and I have no objection to that because I'm a modern person, but I do find it takes my eye off the ball, if I put it like that.
Yeah,
so David,
Alison, what I'm saying is, if say you said to me, come round to your place, right? I would actually assume that I now would have to wear clothes,
yes.
Yes? Yeah. If I turned up and found you naked.
Oh, David, I'll have to let you go because
David,
thank you for your call. I read nothing into what you have repeatedly tried the image. Anyway, change subjects quickly. Alan has emailed that on the question of who would win between the butchers and the minicab drivers, he says the butchers would slaughter the cabbies.
Yes.
I'm not sure about that.
Well, I think it goes back to what I said before. They have the tools for the job.
First of all, there's not many butchers.
Yes, but I mean...
It's a dying art.
Okay, someone with a cleaver is going to beat someone that's got a beaded seat cover.
Yeah, they've got a Mondeo. I think you have to assume that if it all goes off in the car park, the butchers aren't armed, because obviously that would be unfair, wouldn't it? I mean, the way the butchers could arm themselves, they would make your traditional Hollywood pirate or gladiator look seriously underfunded.
Yeah, but the taxi drivers have got bad backs and bad hips.
And asthma, poor old Alan. Yes, look after yourself, Alan. I think he probably was off work because he hasn't been well, so I'm not going to joke about it. He's a very nice man. Yes, they usually are nursing something, aren't they?